guys, this week we've been talking about, or we're getting into talking about how-to writing, okay? So yesterday we looked at the story that we had looked at before, the informational text that's called From Pine Tree to Pizza Box. And everybody was like, oh, we've already read this, we've heard this before, but I was like, I know, but we're looking at it for a different reason. And we were, weren't we? We were looking at it because this book actually is a how-to book. And as we found when we opened the book up to the first chapter, we saw that they were teaching us how do we make cardboard. And what was something that we talked about and we highlighted in our book yesterday that you need to make sure you're using when you're doing a how-to writing piece, Nathan?
First, then, next, and last.
Okay, that's right. Those are the kind of words we highlighted. But does anybody remember what the name of those words are? What do we call them, Winnie?
Transition words.
Transition words, right. They transition us from one step in the activity to the next step in the activity to the next, right? So for instance, just to read this so those of you that were out yesterday can see what we were talking about, we're going to be working on, we wrote the prompt on Monday, because you two were both out Monday and Tuesday. We wrote a prompt on Monday on something we really knew how to do. And they had to just, off the top of their head, write this prompt. Some wrote about tying shoes, some wrote about riding bikes, and they just wrote as much as they could on how to do this activity. Then we looked at this book, and we did refer back, if you remember, we referred back to the book about how to make the sun, prints, and the constellations. So we had a little bit of background knowledge about this, didn't we? But then we went back to this book to really look at it, another example of a how-to writing. And here's what we found out about how do we make cardboard. It tells us that people cut down pine trees to make or produce cardboard. First, here's that transition word, the logs are taken to the sawmill. The bark is removed and the logs are cut into wood chips. Then, second transition word, they wet the wood chips and grind them into pulp. Next, third one, they press the pulp into thin rolls of strong paper. And then if we turn the page, they continue on. Next, they feed 3 layers of paper into a very long machine. The machine folds the paper and glues it together to make cardboard. Then the cardboard can be cut, shaped, and printed. Finally, the cardboard is folded into different types of finished products, like a pizza box, which again is what the whole book is about. You have to know how to make cardboard before you can figure out how to make the pizza box, right? So, we talked about how when we're writing how-to writing pieces, we have to use those transition words. Do we have to use first, next, then, last, and finally?
No.
What's another option? Who can tell me something else we could do to make sure that our reader knows exactly what to do and when to do it? Abram?
When?
Well, I don't know if that would be exactly what we would want to use. There was another thing that some of you did that kind of followed along with the book about the constellations and making those. Layton?
Step 1 and like step 2 and step 3 and stuff.
Right. Well, you could do that. That would work as well, James. Turn around. That would work as well. You could say step 1. You know, what was their first step? Let's go back and look. Step 1. The logs are taken into to the sawmill. Instead of using first, we could have used step 1, right? For this one, we could have said step 2. They wet the wood chips and grind them into pulp. Then we could say here, step 3. They press the pulp into thin rolls of strong paper. But, again, you can do that, but that is not what you necessarily have to do. And transition words are something you're going to use with a lot of your writing. When you're telling stories, when you wrote a narrative at the beginning of the year, you were using transition words too. When you write, when your journal, free writing time, you use transition words, whether you realize it or not. If you're telling me a story about something you did over the weekend, then you're telling me things like, well, first we went to the mall, and then we went and got some Dippin' Dots, and then we went and had pizza. It was a great day. I mean, you use transition words all the time. When you talk to people, do you use transition words? Yeah, you do. Do I use transition words when I'm talking to you about things we're gonna do?
Yeah.
So, well, first we're gonna do this, and then we're gonna do this, and finally we'll take care of this. Yes, we do that so we can all understand how to do things. And it even goes down to as simple as how do we get ready at the end of the day to leave? Remember, I've been working this last few weeks since we've got that card here. We've had an extra job every day. And so we've had to start doing things in steps. Turn in your Chromebook, then go pack your things up, then go sit in your chair. And then you wait for me to tell you to stack your chairs. So there are always going to be steps that we have to take, and we're going to be using transition words a lot. But let's go back to how to, because today's lesson is not about this book. That was yesterday's. And it's not about transition words. That's a reminder. What today's lesson is about is us generating ideas of what could we write about for a how-to writing piece. Okay? So I want you to find an elbow partner right now. Turn to the person sitting right next to you. We'll see if everybody can pair up without me having to help. Let me see. You're going to have to turn around because Abram is going to have to actually turn to you. Okay? And then Walker, you're going to have to actually turn to Noel. And then Ethan, I think we may have somebody, we got people out, so turn and make a group of 3 with Donovan and Zuby, please. There we go. Everybody has a partner, and we have one group of 3. Now, here's what your job is. Now, I know you've already written one how-to writing piece on the prompt that we started this whole unit on. So I'd rather you not use that as your example. I want you to think about something else that you know a whole lot about that you could teach someone in a how-to writing. And I want you to talk about it with your partner right now. So you might need to brainstorm with them. That's what we're going to be doing on this chart paper. But talk to each other about what are things that we really know how to do. And see if each one of you can come up with one idea. Okay? All right, go. Make sure you're talking to each other and not just sitting there. I can teach you the steps to getting to that point. How to do it is kind of something that you have to just learn by practice. So I can teach you how to get there, how to go to school, what everything you need to be a teacher. You might have to think really hard about those things that you know how to do. Show me a thumbs up real quick if you shared an idea. If you still need to share, let's take just another minute. So put your thumbs down and keep sharing. If you haven't shared, make sure you share something with your partner and your partner shares something with you. Share an idea, guys. Okay, go back to talking. No, Johnny, we're in the middle of our lesson. That's another tally. Yeah. Okay, knees back to me, everyone. Knees back to me. So, you should have come up, both of you actually should have come up with at least one idea each. Now, we don't have enough time in our morning to write everybody's idea down. So maybe you and your partner need to kind of make a decision about, whose idea do we want to share? So talk to your partner about that for just a quick sec. Okay. So everybody got it figured out? Okay, so here's what we're doing. We're actually creating, because this is going to help some of you that might be having a hard time. Wow, that pen doesn't write very well. Let me try a different one. We're actually going to be creating this so that if you're having a hard time coming up with an idea on what you can write about, because remember, we're going to write not one how-to piece. We'll probably write 2, maybe 3. But this is called brainstorming. So you're going to share out your ideas, and then we can refer back to this chart anytime we need to when we're working on starting a new how-to writing, because this could help you, right? This could help. Your friends' ideas can help you. Oh, I know how to do that too. I'm going to do that. All right, Nathan, what was your idea?
How to ride rollerblades.
Okay, how to ride rollerblades. That's a good thing. Let me start this by saying how to, because I don't want to write that every single time. How to, ... ride rollerblades. That's what you said, right? Okay. I don't even know if I think I can maybe do that. I haven't done it in a long time. I can ride roller skates, but I don't know about rollerblades. Okay, what about you?
How to make a snow cone.
Oh, okay. Make a snow cone. Do you have a machine, or do you just do this at home?
Well, when it's snowing,
Oh.
I just grab like something like a cup, and I pick it up with snow, and I grab my favorite Coke, and then I put it on the snow, and I make
So with snow, real snow. Okay, that's good. That's good. Adele, what was the idea?
How to make a paper hat.
Oh, which one of you knows how to do that? You or Grace? She does? How to make a paper hat. Okay, make a paper hat. And what kind of hat is this? Do you know what kind of hat it is? Is it like a birthday hat? Is it a sailor's hat? A pirate's hat? What kind of hat is it?
A boat hat. A rain hat.
A what? Oh, you forgot. Okay, well, I'd like to read and learn about that. Walker, what was y'all's idea?
I'm talking about this paper hat. The golf hat is the easiest hat.
Oh, to make a golf hat? Oh, okay. Okay, thanks for sharing that. Maybe it's a golf hat you're making. Okay, Abram, what was your idea?
How to ride a scooter.
Ooh, okay. How many of you got scooters? How many people own a scooter? Oh, okay. So most of you know how to do that, but some of you don't. So how to ride a scooter? Oh, give someone a timeout if they're making noise right now, because we're trying to generate our brainstorm list for our how-to writing. Thank you. All right, Donovan, what was your idea?
How to ride a bike with no hands.
Oh my goodness, how dangerous are you? Okay. I'm writing how to again. How to ride a bike. That's dangerous, huh? Gosh. With no hands. I could do that when I was young. I don't know. I could drive a car without hands. Does that sound dangerous?
That's easy. No.
All right. Well, it's not that I'm not using anything, but I don't think that I'm driving around town without my hands on the wheel, but I'm using my knees. Sometimes you gotta use your knees to help. Just for a second, guys. Don't think I'm crazy. I'm not doing dangerous stuff. All right, time out again. Give another time out. All right, I stirred you up. All right, Rory, what was your idea?
How to teach somebody to work out with like heavy weights.
Okay, so to work out with weights? Okay, all right, you can do that. Do you do that at home?
Yeah.
Oh, you do?
I worked out with 80 pounds.
80 pounds? Wow, that's a lot of weight. Hey guys, give your time out again. We've got to learn to be quieter. All right, Brooklyn, what was the idea you wanted to share with us?
How to buckle
Okay, how to buckle a seatbelt. I heard you talking about that. Well, some people have trouble buckling their seatbelts, believe it or not. And it may not be you necessarily right now. You may have already learned it, but maybe you've got a little brother or sister that still struggles with having to do that. And you could write this whole how-to writing piece for them. And you could teach them. So how to buckle a seatbelt. That's a good idea. And you know what? There's some little kids when I'm at car duty in kindergarten that still their parents have to get out of the car, and car line is crazy, and they get out of the car line and get out of their car and they go around and they buckle their kid in. And it's like you got to teach them how to do it themselves. So one, our car line can move faster, and two, they need to learn, don't they? Because you got to do it yourself eventually. You want to be 20 years old and having your mom and dad buckle you in a seatbelt?
And then you have to call your mom and dad to come and buckle you up and
That's crazy.
and so you
We gotta learn, right?
Yeah.
All right.
That would be so
Back
funny.
on track. Time out.
Time out.
Anybody that you see talking, give them the signal. James. Winnie, what was your idea?
How to make cereal.
Okay, all right.
Seriously?
Shh. Keep those voice levels down.
It's something that I'm really good at.
I still hear a voice. I shouldn't.
They're judging me.
Oh, don't judge her. That's not okay. You can't judge people's ideas. Everybody has great ideas, and we don't ever judge other people's ideas. Okay, Ethan?
How to get hurt?
That's what you wrote about, and I'd rather us not think of things that are dangerous. So let's try a different idea. Zuby.
How to train a dog?
To train a dog to do what? Like tricks? Or to go to the bathroom? How are we going to train this dog? Outside? Train, so potty train. That's what it's called, potty train. Okay, how to potty train a dog. That's a good one. Because a lot of you get puppies, and you need to be part of that process. I mean, your parents need to have you out there helping them. A dog. Now, you don't need to potty train cats. You all know that, right? Because they have litter boxes. But you do have to teach your dogs to go outside and, to let you know that it's time for them to go outside so that they don't mess all over your house. All right, Johnny, what's your idea?
How to ride your skateboard without using your hands.
Well, you don't really use your hands when you're skateboarding.
Like you get your foot, you hit it hard on the edge, and then you try to catch it by your shoulder.
So you're talking more about doing like skateboarding tricks. Okay, so it's a how-to. Do you know a specific trick in general? And do you have a trick that you know the name of?
Front flip.
A front flip, okay. I know there's kick flips. Trust me, Jake skateboards. So I know a lot of these.
I do kick flips mostly all the time.
So how to do a kick flip on a skateboard. And that's hard, y'all. It really is. I mean, even my soon-to-be 16-year-old is having a hard time with some of his little tricks. Kick flip. Oh my gosh. We'll just say for a skateboard. I meant to say on a skateboard, but you guys should know what that means. Okay, one more. You've already had your turn. A hottie. Yes, that's a good one. Play soccer. And does it have to be just soccer?
No.
You could use any sport you know. It could be how to play soccer, how to play baseball, how to do gymnastics, how to do a cartwheel. A lot of you do that at recess. There's so many things that you know how to do, James. There are so many things that you know how to do. And you can teach other people how to do it, not by just using your words and talking to them, but by actually writing it out for them to read. And that's why we are learning about these how-to writings. So you can start writing some of these and actually maybe share them with someone. And maybe we'll do that. We may see if we can partner up with another class and you take yours down and read them to them and they read theirs to you. We used to do that a lot. And maybe we can do that now again since we're all getting together again. Yes, Abram.
I bet something that you could do, taekwondo.
Okay,
It's
that's
another
one.
sport.
Okay, or I'll put, do you know how to spell taekwondo?
T-I.
Oh, is it I?
Yeah.
Really?
So you can just
Really?
you can just color it in.
I don't know if that's Thai. I think it's spelled with an A. Taekwondo? Let me add that to the chart later because I want to spell it the right way, and I have reason to believe it might have an A next as the vowel, and it does not follow the rules. But let me look at it, okay? And I'll add it in just a bit. I don't want to put a misspelled word on our chart. All right, so here's our brainstorming lesson. Let me read them to you. Whoa, I don't know why that was still wet, but let me read to you what you told me because these are ideas that you can use when we do our how-to writing. Now, we're not doing it today because, again, we have counseling coming up, but we will start working on this in the probably next week is when we'll focus more on it. All right, so one thing you tell me is how to ride rollerblades, how to make a snow cone, how to make a paper hat, how to ride a scooter, how to ride a bike with no hands, how to work out with weights, how to buckle a seatbelt, how to make cereal, how to potty train. I put potty training dogs, why did I do that? Potty training dogs is what I meant to say. Kick flip for a skateboard and how to play soccer or taekwondo. And I'm going to add that and I'm going to make those corrections, Rory, to the chart. So our chart is exactly the way it should be. So what we've done today again is I need your listening ears on, I need eyes on me, and you need to go to your desk, please. And your hand should go down. I need you to remember that when we get to this, probably next week, since tomorrow's our last day of the week due to the holiday, we're going to look back at this list of brainstormed ideas. And if you need an idea because you don't have an idea, you're going to look at this list and it's going to help you. Okay? That's what brainstorming does. If we share out ideas and then we have a place that we can write them all, then you can go back and look at that later if you get stuck and you don't have anything else to think of or to write about. Go to this list, okay? All right, with that being said, I want you at the count of 3, you are going